Hello, hello, hello. It's Shirley Ross, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and it is Coffee and Cards Tuesday. Yes, I love Coffee and Cards Tuesday. I do a class at a coffee shop once a month, and the cards we made this last Tuesday. Let me move some things out of the way. This was one. We like to do fun folds, so this was another. I have two of each here. And here was the third. And I love that this one I got off of Sue Campfield, I believe is her, or Susan Campfield. She is another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I usually get a lot of my ideas off of Pinterest. So we're going to start tonight and show you how we made this card. So the supplies were listed in the beginning with all the measurements. So I hope you caught that. I tried to put them where you could make a screenshot of them. So, oh, wrong one. That is the top one. This one was card number 1. I always rate the card number for the kit in the upper corner, so we will be able to pull everything out. And I'm going to move everything over now. We don't do any pre-stamping, but I do some of the pre-work, such as doing the embossing. This is an old embossing folder that I have in my stash. So I embossed both of those pieces, and then I used the beautiful wildly flowering, and this will be on sale to the end of August for 15% off. And then we have this piece, which makes the pop-up mechanism. This is going to be the sentiment piece that goes on the front, and this will be the sentiment piece that goes in the center. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold the front of the card in half. I like to do this. You can score it if you want. It would be 2 1/8, but I like to do it by bringing it to the edge, and then I just come to the center and go up and down. And that's because sometimes when I'm doing the scoring, I'm not quite as perfect as I want to be. And I think I might have been off a little bit on this one. So I can just slide it up a little bit more and get my bone folder and fix that. That happens when you have a camera over your head. Okay, so that is done. So the next step we're going to do is to take our two pieces that we embossed. You don't have to emboss them. You could even use a pattern paper. We're going to put those, it's going to fit right in the center. And this is tone on tone, sort of. I am using my old, close to my heart card bases. I'm trying to use up what I have in my stash. And then I am using the basic, I believe it's basic white, and it is a little bit more of an off-white than white. However, coming soon will be close to my heart's White Daisy. It will be called White Willow for Stampin' Up, so I'm excited that that will be coming. So we've done that. Now the next thing we want to do is to put this piece. You can use either the pattern piece or just the blue, and I've done it in the blue on all the others, but I think this time I might do it with the pattern just to give it a little bit more. Now this is a large pattern. A lot of times when you're creating cards, you want to use a smaller pattern, and this should center in again about not a quarter, but an eighth, I think, maybe. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so now we're going to do the mechanism. We had to have that in before we did the mechanism that makes the pop-up. So we have a piece here, and it's scored 3 times, and we're going to fold it. You can fold it in half first if you want. All right, and then score it on the other 2. And use the bone folder. All right. So what it's going to end up being is it's going to end up being a box when it's done, like that, to go in here. Now the way I do it to put the mechanism in is I'm going to fold it in half. All the rest of it has been folded really well. If you want, you can go in both directions. I have my stamp over there. I don't want to lose it. I'm using a different stamp for this one. Okay, so now it's in half. I think those will move because it's going to go up and down. I want it to be very, very viable. I need to get my, here we go, score tape. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a piece. Now you can put one strip just along the fold line. If you want, you can put two. I've only put one before, but I'm going to put two this time. It hasn't come unstuck. It's very sticky. And then I'm going to put it on the other side. Again. It's sticking to my fingers. All right. So we have that. All right. So we've got that done. Now we're just going to do one side. I'm just going to make sure it's on there really well. Sometimes when you go to pull off the paper backing, so I'm just going to pull it off of one side. I'm going to leave it on the other side, and then I'm going to take the piece and I'm going to kind of center it from top to bottom, and I'm going to put it right next to, but not on the score line to the middle of the card. I want to make sure it closes and opens nicely. Okay. All right. It's up a little high, but that's okay. We can still center. Then we are going to take off this piece. Let me get my, see if I can get it to pop up with this. There we go. This is awesome tool, Stampin' Up tool. It was one of the first things that I purchased. It's got the pickup on one end, and then I have the I want to say it's not a piercing tool, but it is kind of like one. Then I'm going to just close it. Now the one thing to remember is you are attaching it to a very lumpy piece because it's on the embossed piece. So I want to use my bone folder and just kind of go inside there and make sure it's down really, really well. So there we go. So now we have the pop-up done. So now let's do some stamping. So we will start with the piece that's going to go on the front, and I am going to use, I need some thank you cards for my customers, and I'm using my small business. So if you have a small business, this would be a good stamp. Or if you just need a lot of thank you cards, this would be a good one. Oh, I have a star on my block. Well, we'll leave it there. I'm going to pick up that's great. And then I am also going to use the Magnolia Mood. I love, love, love this. I haven't hooked down. This is a piece of magnet sheet that I cut down, and it will glue down. I've used the clear glue like that and glued them on the other ones. I have not glued this one yet, but this is the stamp that we're going to use. It's a pretty little floral stamp. So let me get another block out of my block case. I still have my older, close to my heart blocks. My thing is, I already have all these. I'm going to use them as long as I can. There's so many things I want to get with Stampin' Up that I just want to save my money and spend it on what I can. I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to open this up. Open it like a compact, and then I'm going to slide it. I just did my nails. This is the first time that I've played with anything after I've done them, and I am seeing that it's a little harder. All right, there we go. So we are going to ink this up, and I just want it in the bottom right-hand corner. Sorry for the wiggling. Make sure, yeah, it looks like it's really good. So I'm going to come off a little bit. Beautiful. Now let's get a baby wipe or a paper towel, whatever you have at your table, and we'll clean that up. All right. Slide that over to the side. All right, and then we'll keep that and do the thank you. I love tone on tone, but you could do it in different colors. You could do this in one color and the sentiment in black. That's up to you, whatever you want. Now this is just an old, close to my heart, all-purpose mat that I use. I am getting the Stampin' Up! Glass mat. I heard that it is awesome, so it is on my wish list. Okay, so now we want to put something on the inside. So I'll pull this over. I'm going to go ahead and grab my scrubber. This is my Stampin' Up! Scrubber. They also have a chamois, but I like the scrubber. This reminds me of the Close to My Heart scrubber we had years and years ago, and one side has drips and one has a sun, so that you know that this is the one that you wet. So we'll wet that. It has a really nice scent to me. We'll clean that one off. All right, we'll go ahead and clean this one off. Dry it. They clean up so nicely. I'll put that back. I keep it at the top of my craft table. I'm going to go ahead, and now I need to use that one more time. Don't want to close it too quickly. And I think I'm going to use the supporting my business, because I do appreciate so much those who are supporting my small business. So I'm going to take the thank you off, put it in here, and go ahead and pick this one up. I like to lay it down flat and then lift it up to try to get it as straight as possible. Now on the inside, I did not do any stamping because this is going to cover it, but you could put something on the inside if you wanted. That's up to you. I'll put that in the center. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna close the ink, because if you're like me, I will lay something in it for sure. So I'll put that up there. I'll open my scribber. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put that stamp away. All right, so now let's assemble. So if you want to use twine, and that is like my favorite thing right now, you can. I have a dark blue. This is, I think this is almost the same. It could be either Night of Midnight, or it could be the Misty Moonlight, either one, but I think I'm going to use this time. I did use some of the more neutral colors, and I did not tie a bow on these ones. I just tied a knot, but it's up to you on how you want to do it. So I want to make sure this one has enough on the end for me to be able to grab it and tie it. I'm going to go 3 times. I try to keep it straight from the back to the front. So if I want to, my brain does not work when I'm trying to do something. So that if I want to separate them out, and I think I actually went 4 times. So let's stop. There we go. This is 3. All right. So I'm going to trim it out here. That should give me enough to tie. Now what I like to do is to kind of separate the fibers a little bit, and then when I go to tie it, I'm going to tie it by going up underneath all of them, so it will keep these ones together here. That's just my preference. You can do it however, and that way I have these ones that can splay out. I like that. All right, and then we are going to trim it up a little bit, and I'm going to do a couple other things. I am going to grab, I have all these extra glue dots that I get with the paper pumpkin. If you haven't gotten the paper pumpkin, you might want to try it. I'm going to put that glue dot underneath. I'm going to try to put underneath. I think I got it down a little bit too far, but that's okay. And then that will hold the fibers. Okay, and you want to make sure it covers the whole thing so you don't stick something else to it. The next thing I want to do is just carefully kind of just take carefully through the fibers on the part that was cut out so that you untwine them so that they fray out a little bit. I like that look. And then when I'm done, if I want, I will cut those a little bit shorter. So see how nicely they frayed out. There's a lot of fiber in there. So then if you want to cut them just a little bit shorter, you can. There we go. All right, that is perfect, just the way I want it. All right, now I'm going to take some foam tape. Now this is some of my stashed close to my heart foam tape. I'm not going to use, these are my fabric scissors. As you can see, they have a ribbon on them, so only will cut the ribbon. So I'm going to grab my Teflon. These are, of course, a close to my heart stash. Stampin' Up! Has some great scissors. I hope to add those to my repertoire, but at the moment I have some perfectly good scissors, and I am of the use what you have first. When they're ready to be swapped out, then look for something new. All right, so now what I'm going to want to do, and the one thing I had to get used to was the fact that Stampin' Up! Doesn't have two-tone paper yet, but that looks like it's coming in the future. You know, Close to My Heart had that, so it's nice to know that Stampin' Up! Will continue. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, let's get all these little pieces off. My table is usually covered in little leftover papers from all the different things, so then I'm just spending time cleaning those up. I'm going to line that up, and perfect. All right, so now this is going to attach here in the center, but we're going to put this piece on first. Now what you may want to do is to go ahead and put some adhesive on this piece here. You could do that with the tape if you want, if I can find my roll, or you can just put a little of your regular adhesive on there. And it might be smart, and I didn't think about this, is to put this on when you're putting the tape on all the others, so it's already there. Let me get my scissors and cut. I don't want to hurt my mechanism. Oop. Of course, doesn't want to cut now. There we go. All right, and then if you want to put a second piece, you can. I like that I'm not perfect. I want you to know that anybody can make cards. It's just up to you. These are some of my older scissors, and I sometimes cut things I shouldn't cut with them, like the legs off of brads and things, so then they become a little bit on the hard to cut. They get a little dull. That's why I make sure that I don't do my other scissors that way. All right, I want to grab this. It's not as easy on this little mechanism. Like I said, I don't want anything to happen to it. But let's fold it in just a little bit. There we go. Make sure we just get the top. And then again. Make sure it's stuck down. Sorry if I hit the thing with my head. There we go. All right. So I want to try to make sure that this piece, you don't want it all the way in, and you want to be careful before you lay it down, that you have it. I think I do. There we go. I'm just going to close it. Yeah, that's pretty close. I tried to get it even around, and then we'll put this piece on, but this time we want to make sure that we have a nice even, so you can kind of see where you don't want to put adhesive. You can make little notches with your pencil if you want. And again, let's line it up on this end. And then press it down. And again, you want to press it good because it's on that embossed piece. So there you go. So now you have a little pop-up card ready to go. And let's just grab our envelope. I put the number up here because that is where the stamp is going to go. So I am going to take the little bag, grab my ink again, and we're going to, I like to put something on the envelope. That way, whoever gets the card, they're going to say, ooh, this is something special. All right, so I'm going to do the little shopping bag. In the bottom corner, I like that. Clean that one off. All right, and then I want to get handmade for you, I think. This is the one I want to use because they are handmade for whoever is getting it. I think I'm going to put that on the back. I know, ideas just come into your head while you're working. I know if you're like me. Let's do it for your order on the front. So that makes more sense with the little shopping bag. All right. And carefully. Ta-da! And I'll put a thank you above it. I think there's a smaller thing here. Oh, there's a thanks. There we go. That will work. Put that right here. Thanks for your order. Handmade for you. Yes, I do like that. So, I hope you enjoyed the Coffee and Cards Tuesday, and I will see you again on next Tuesday. Enjoy.